My name is Nathan Forster. I'm a 2023 graduate. I was in the GSA Academy. Currently going to MCC for culinary, and I'm going to be graduating from there in 2026.
Okay. So wait, before you go, Jay, I just wanted to make sure that, I think traditionally in the past it's been about college, but not all Red Hawks attend college when they leave, right? Some people just work, some people join a trade. So wanted to try and highlight different experiences. So you actually are a gem because you joined a union, you're doing a trade. Okay, can you share the same kind of information with us about that? School, your name, your academy, all that stuff, but just what you're doing now.
I'm Jabron, graduated 2022. My academy was STEM.
Okay.
Next question. Oh, and yeah, like you said, I'm not attending college. I decided to take a trade route. So I'm unionized. So instead of going to trade school like, Lincoln Tech or Chester Hills, I decided to join a union where I get free schooling for the trade that I'm learning. And then I'm also working on top of that.
You said you attend there's a school or facility. What's the name of the facility?
So the facility is within the union. So what the facility is like, before I started working, I was up there for a month.
Okay.
And they were just teaching me basically the basics of what it is when I'm starting as an apprentice. Cause that's what I am right now. And then after I reach 2,000 working hours, I'll become a journeyman.
What's the name of the school?
Oh, it's just the New England Laborers Facility.
New England Laborers Facility?
Yeah, training facility, yeah. So,
all right.
But every 9 to 10 months, I gotta go back for training again.
Okay.
So recently at the end of October and November last year, I was up there learning pipe fitting, and then I had to do another asbestos course, which is like basically like how can I say it?
Is it stuff on the walls? Like
It could be everything, because a lot of the times we work in hazardous waste, which potentially could be a job site that we're at. So that was another thing that we had to take a refresher on, but it was cool.
All right, thank you for that. All right, Alex?
What's up, yo? My name's Alexander. I go by Alex. I'm a 2022 graduate. I was in the STEM Academy. I currently go to, I go to Syracuse University. I major in biomedical engineering, and I'm a 2026 graduate.
Okay, cool.
Hello, my name's Paris. I graduated from MHS in 2023. I currently attend UConn. I study biomedical engineering, and I'll graduate in 2027.
My name is Olivia. I was in EPSA. I'm a 2023 graduate. I go to Eastern, and I'm undecided. I switched to undecided, and I am destined to graduate in 2027.
My name is Chanel. I'm a 2023 graduate. My academy was GSA, and I go to Clark Atlanta University, and I graduate in 2027. Oh, and I'm a business major.
Okay, my name is Tati, and I graduated in 2023, and I go to MCC, and I don't know when I'm graduating, to be honest, because it's community college, so you just graduate when I get my credits, basically. I'm also a business management major.
My name is Abby, or Abigail. I graduated in 2023, and I was in MCA Academy, and I'm going to MCC currently for my 2 years. I'm doing my pre-credits, and then I'm gonna go transfer to a 4-year to do architecture right now, but it's still undecided.
Of the application process for you, and what advice would you give to students who may be facing the same challenges? What was most challenging, and what advice would you give to students having the same challenges? You have the mic.
The most challenging thing for me was honestly applying on time. A lot of the deadlines really don't make sense, and sometimes you will mistake it for a different type of application. So when you go to apply, do it as early as possible. And if you need any help, most of the teachers, guidance counselors here can help you with that. There wasn't really much information-wise that was too difficult, or like tax stuff. So you need to make sure you talk with your parents, and if they have a tax person, to talk with them about that. But just the deadlines and simple information that might trip you up.
Okay, that's good information. Anybody else? In terms of challenges with the application process?
For me, I would say it's choosing which college to apply to, because I know I had like a bunch of different ones. I was like, oh, what if this isn't the right fit for me?
Right.
So I just ended up applying to as many colleges as possible, or as many that I thought would be a great fit for me, and I ended up picking one that was the best choice.
Yep, I remember that. But even though you had like 20 schools, you're still waiting for Syracuse.
Yeah.
And you got it. Anybody else?
I can go. For me, what was challenging about the application process was motivation to do it, because it's really hard when you live in like a single family home, like getting information from each parent and like splitting it between two. So I would say just like trying to keep up communication with your parents and like the people around you to help you with the application process is a challenge, but it's something you should do earlier so you can get it by the deadline. And then also picking a college and also worrying about tuition is really rough. So for me, like I thought I was committed to a college, and then I was like, money is like difficult, but then it's also something you should stress about later, because for me, I'm like just going with the flow. I'm doing my pre-creds and I'm going with stuff like going to college later, because I still want to do my 4 years.
It's a good plan.
I have a question.
Okay,
Did you already do the why I applied event?
Don't act like you know what's going on here. January 31st, we actually just talked about the date yesterday. No, I think it's February 1st, it's like on a Thursday. It's coming up in a few weeks, so we didn't do it yet.
Okay, well, I would say that was probably the most helpful. event.
Really?
Yeah, it was very helpful. Like just have a period of the day that you can go and just get help with applying, because like Abby said, like sometimes doing it by yourself is unmotivating,
Yeah.
especially because when you're applying to big schools, it can be intimidating.
Yeah.
And so when I went to that event, you were like, just apply to it. Like you were very encouraging, and there was other people there who didn't exactly know what they were doing, just like me. So it was very helpful to have that event. Like it was right upstairs too, so it was very accessible.
Oh, I think that was like a click and submit event. Click and submit, so yeah, that's like the application workshop that we do when kids come and they just submit their through Common App, they submit their applications, yeah, that was click and submit. Who's going next?
I think the most challenging aspect for me was time management, because a lot of the deadlines are around the same time. So it's like you have scholarship application deadlines, but you also have like your college application deadlines, and each college has their own supplemental essays.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a lot to get done at the same time on top of like your normal schoolwork.
Yeah.
And to kind of just get around that, I recommend just starting as soon as you can and like spacing out all your supplemental essays and kind of just setting deadlines for yourself, so you're not like cramming like I did.
I know. Leah?
I didn't really, I'm gonna be honest, I had struggle applying to college because I wasn't sure that I wanted to do that. I didn't know if I really wanted to go to college in the first place, because I think my plan originally was to take a gap year.
Okay.
But there was like a lot of other people telling me I should take a gap year, do what I need to do to focus on myself before I go into another 4 years of school.
Right.
So that happened, and then like as we got closer to like January, February, I was like, you know, what do I want to do? And I think that was like the most important question for me while I was applying, because I was just like, is this what I want to do? Is this my passion, you know? And it's like I constantly had to ask myself those questions when I was applying. So I think that's like very important. Like before you like start doing all this, ask yourself, do you want to do this? Like, is this like something you're gonna dedicate yourself to for another 4 years? Because it's like literally like high school, but in a college
Just the rest of
setting,
your life.
more of your own pace,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
So like I said, like just growing up with like one parent, but not necessarily like just one parent. It's just like talking to your parents about like tax stuff and like stuff like that was rough. Like, and then also like being confused. Like financial aid is very, very confusing. Like nobody talks about like how many unspoken things there are in the application form. So I think that's what was challenging, is just like trying to decipher what it's really saying to you.
Anyone else with financial aid?
I just, like, I would agree with Abby, because, like, growing up with one parent, and then, like, you have to apply for financial aid, you don't know what they're gonna ask you, so then once you actually open the application and, like, you see what type of questions they're asking, it's like, oh, wow, like, I need to ask my mom this, I need to ask my mom that, and then you kind of, like, feel stressed because you're only asking one parent, and then, like, for me, I was just, like, asking my mom, okay, like, you have to answer these questions, and then I would go to school, and then like a whole bunch of teachers would ask me if I finished yet, but then it's just like kind of stressful because like no, I didn't finish yet because I'm waiting for my mom to like answer the questions. So I feel like that was the most challenging for me because I have to wait for my mom to answer those questions before I can like finish my application.
Do you feel like it would have been helpful if there was like a parent education workshop to educate parents on that so that that wasn't on you? Would that have helped?
Yeah, kind of. I feel like my mom is very involved when it comes to like school, so I feel like she would have did something like that to like know what's going on, and like if she has questions, she can be the one to ask them, because all the questions she had, I have to like ask myself.
Yeah. Anyone else, Paris?
I had very similar issues, and I think on top of that, you know, having two different applications, you have the FAFSA and then you have like the CSS profile. And I remember the CSS profile, like the questions being like a lot more invasive almost, like, and it was the type of stuff where I asked my mom and she was like, I don't even have the documents for that. So I think kind of just making sure, like communicating with my mom, making sure we had all the documents we needed.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, you know, ask for too much because she also has her own things to do. So I think kind of just finding that time to collect everything needed to fill out these kind of like long forms is kind of really difficult.
Got it.
The application itself is long and confusing, and there were so much times when I thought I finished it, but then when I would go and check to like show a teacher that I finished it, there would be a whole new set of questions that I need to do. So just trying to get it done in the first place was just confusing, and I felt like I was looking at like a different language almost. Kind of the same thing that they were talking about earlier, because my dad is by himself. I was still getting money from my mom's life insurance, so I didn't really know if that would be included. So a lot of the questions that my dad had, I wasn't able to answer, but I had asked my questions. I talked to my guidance counselor a lot, and me and her went through what we could, and I'd even gotten help from teachers a lot. I think I got help from you.
And I think you came on to one of those Saturday sessions.
Yeah, I
Saturday
came
support
to one of the
sessions.
Saturday sessions.
That's when we submitted it. I remember.
And yeah, that's when I finished the submission. So just the information part, a lot of the questions confusing, but the teachers will help you because y'all know what you're doing. But I'd say like the biggest part was how long the application took.
Did you guys know that it's been reduced to like 20 questions? Have you filled out the renewal FAFSA yet?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Have you seen that it's so much simpler?
It's
So
so
you're gonna
much
have to
simpler.
fill out another FAFSA to
So
renew
much
your
simpler.
financial aid for next year, right? And the format of the application has been simplified.
It's been, yeah.
Did you, so do you have, you already submitted it?
Yeah.
Super easy, huh?
No, I love it.
So not 80 to 100 questions anymore, like 20.
That's good.
Yeah, because they understand.
I think that event for parents would be helpful because it was my mom's first time doing FAFSA too, and she was really confused.
Yeah.
So she probably would have gone and like, you know, asked her questions and stuff like that. If she had like a more of a comfortable space, because she was pretty much by herself just like I was. Like
Got
we were
it.
kind of working with each other, but I was like, I don't know your information, so she kind of just had to figure it out. She was confused and she was stressed out too, filling out FAFSA, so I think it would be helpful that.
Like a workshop?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like something that would be helpful would be if we we had more things in school. Like, yes, we have to like finish our credits and like, you know, go to our classes, but more stuff like click and submit and why did I apply, like stuff like that. Like, not stuff after school or like on Saturdays because people have work, people have things to do, but more stuff like in school, like if we could just, yeah, during the day where we could just like work on college stuff would be really helpful. Because I really like click and submit, like there was a lot of teachers and there was a lot of people like to help you, so yeah.
Yeah, what schools did you apply to, and why did you end up choosing the one that you're attending? But let's go for trade. What trade did you apply to, and why did you end up choosing this one?
So intentionally, I wanted to join the Carpenters Union first, just because like I have a few uncles who are carpenters. One's in the union, he's a foreman now, and the reason why I chose the laborers, which is construction, is because it was just like the best option for me to get into it quick. And later on along the line, I could still take everything that I learned and all my credits, and I could transfer to unions too. So I only chose it just because it was the best option for me in the moment. And
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, me, I applied to like about 15 colleges. I do not remember all of them off the top of my head, but I know that I applied to them because they all had good environmental engineering programs, and that was my main factor in choosing them. I ended up going with Syracuse because one, they gave me the most money, so I'm going where the money is,
Yeah.
and two, it just had a really good biomedical engineering program, so it all worked out.
Sounds like a good run. Anyone else want to share where you applied and where you ended up choosing to go?
I can go. So I applied, I think, to 10 colleges, but what made me kind of pick what I did at MCC was more like money reasons.
Okay.
I messed up on a few like scholarship applications.
Okay.
So like I was definitely not getting them because I already messed it up and the deadline already passed.
Okay.
But I was interested in doing construction, join the union, because my dad and my brothers do it. And
Your brother's the one that came and is
Yeah.
he HVAC?
he's plumbing. So
Okay.
my dad and my brother do plumbing, and my
Okay.
dad's a foreman. So he said, if you ever change your mind, I can hook you up and I can get you connected with the union. But I was like, MCC, with me doing my FAFSA is free. I am interested in cooking. And if I were to go do my 2 years and I don't like it, I'm gonna join you. But at the end of the day, I'm enjoying it so far. So I'll see where,
See where it takes you?
yeah, I'll see where it takes
I love
me.
that. So for the ones that though went to MCC, I'm just gonna go back a little bit. MCC and financial aid is packed, right?
Yeah.
What did you learn about PAC when you got there that you didn't know about? Like, I need to know.
Oh, you need a minimum amount of hours
Okay.
for financial aid to fully kick in. And I think that was 6 hours.
Okay.
So that's what they would call part-time.
Okay.
And normally you can get that within 2 classes, but I'm doing full-time with 12 hours and I have 4 classes.
So PACT, is that money? Is that support? Like, what is it?
It's money, basically. Well, basically, not money necessarily, it's just like,
Aid?
it's just aid. Like, it's literally, it gets rid of your, what's it called?
Your balance?
Your balance.
Okay,
yeah.
so it goes towards
So,
tuition.
yeah, when I did PACT, I wasn't really too sure what it was about, and I was very confused, because I was like, why do I just like go to college for free? Like, I was confused. So basically, you have to go right after high school, you have to graduate from a high school in Connecticut, and then there's like a couple other things, but if you graduate and go after high school, you get free, you're free in college, and then you have to fill out financial aid, obviously still, but it kicks in with that. So for me, PACT really is what convinced me, because when I applied to all these different colleges, the tuition was so high and it stressed me out. So PACT is what helped me make my decision, because without it, like, I would have just never gone to college.
Got it.
For me, I lost it.
Did it go off?
No, I don't know what I was gonna say. I forgot.
Oh, we were just talking about PAC as it
Okay.
applies to MCC for.
Yeah, so I applied to a few different colleges and I was like sure I was either gonna go to Southern or Clark Atlanta. And then MCC was always like a side option for me. And then once it started like getting closer and closer, I was like stressing myself out like what am I gonna do, where am I gonna go? So I just ended up choosing MCC and I had no idea what PAC was. And I ended up like seeing an email about it, like you have to apply for PAC if you want to get free college. And then I just kept ignoring them because I'm like, what? I thought I already got free college, like I already got in. So my mom seen it like one day and she was like, no, you need to apply, like we need to call financial aid office. Now this was like a month before the start date of all the classes. So I was like, oh shoot, okay. So I just applied and it was pretty like easy application. It was more easier than FAFSA. And yeah, that's just my experience with PAC. Like I really didn't know what it was, so I feel like I guess my advice would be like pay attention to your emails because I didn't.
Okay, so back to the original question of like what schools did you apply to and which one did you end up attending for the remaining three? I think Chanel, Aaliyah, and Paris.
So I applied to a lot of different colleges, but a couple were UHeart, Quinnipiac, and UConn. And I decided on UConn because I already worked there for a little bit and I had those connections, and they also had the best medical engineering program
Right.
out of the colleges I was accepted into, and the best financial aid.
Yes,
So for me, it just made sense.
that makes sense. Okay.
I only applied to 3 schools. It was UConn, Clark Atlanta, and MCC.
Okay.
I knew if I didn't go to Clark Atlanta, I was just gonna go to MCC. But I
Okay.
ended up choosing to. I was talking to everybody. Like I was so stressed out. Like, do I want to go 800 miles away? Like, are you sure this is a good idea? You're gonna be by yourself. There's a million questions that you ask yourself if you're thinking about going far away from home. And so I ended up choosing Clark Atlanta because I'm pretty sure it's number 3 for number 3 HBCU for business programs. So it has an amazing business program, and so that's really what like drew me in. But also I knew I wanted to go to HBCU, and something was telling me to just go to Atlanta, like especially because I do have a family member there that helps me be a little bit more comfortable. And even while going there, I've kind of been like, I think I want to come home. Like, I've been like, I don't know, like, I'm very, very far. But like, I settled on just going for this next semester, and I have a good feeling that I'm gonna end up like really settling in. I just had a really hard time settling in for my first semester so far away. You don't know anybody, like it's 100% brand new, and I had never been to Atlanta besides just the tour. So that was my first time ever going, pretty much. So it's really hard if you're thinking about going away, and also I lived in Connecticut my entire life, so it's really all I know. So if you're thinking about going away, it's a really hard decision, but you really can come home if like you really need to. So that would just be my advice, is to still try it if you really think you can, just to try it, and then if you can't, come back, and if you can, then yeah.
At the end, as we get closer to the end, I'm gonna circle back with you on the HBCU experience and how it's different. But that'll be in a little bit. All right, Leah?
So I got into mostly all the Connecticut state colleges, and I did get a few out of state. I got one in Indiana, and I got another one. I forgot where that was. But I was gonna go to the one in Indiana because I do have family out there. But then I realized like I need to stay, local. So that was out of the question. The financial aid that they gave me was not good anyways. So I was like, okay, out the window for right now. So I was basically stuck with MCC, Southern, Central, and Eastern and UConn, and UConn Hartford. So those are the ones I got into in Connecticut. And I think the reason why I chose Eastern is because it's small. It's small, but there's a lot of students. Campus life is way different than it would be at UConn or any other campus. It's like everything is close to each other's. Everything you can walk to without, if it's snowing, if it's raining, it's right there. I'm literally 1 minute away from the dining hall. It's literally outside my dorm. My classes is like a 5-minute walk, so everything is like relatively close to each other. And that's one thing, and the financial aid they gave me was really good because I left high school not with a good GPA, but not a solid GPA that I wanted. And they told me, like, Central Eastern told me if I go to this summer thing, I can have like all my tuition paid for all the 4 years. So I was like, in my
Wow.
mind, yeah. So I was like, I'm okay. So it was literally like 7 weeks of intense classes. I was in there at 8 and I got out at 4. So like that whole time I was just, working. I did different topics. I think that was really stressful because it was like very time consuming. There was quizzes every week, like basically every other day I had a quiz in a different class. Had to be on top of my work. But at the end, I graduated that whole program they had. So the tuition at Eastern is like $31,000, all paid for.
So
my
now it's
housing.
free for the rest of the time that you're there?
Yeah, so for all my 4 years, it's free. My housing, my
Wow.
food, everything. The only thing I literally have to worry about is like my personal stuff that I bring in. So for me, that was like a lot, 7 weeks that I could have been, going out over the summer. I didn't want, like every time I would come home, I would cry. Like I don't want to do it.
Wow.
But it was like I had to put in the work and dedication if I wanted that, the reward of it. So I think that's. Yeah, it was the other thing is. Yeah, the other thing is all the classes was in person. There was no online classes, no nothing. All I need to do now is like maintain my GPA. So when I left high school, I had a 2.5. Now I have a 3.4.
Wow.
So that's literally like a big difference. And I get on honor roll for the semester I had in fall. I didn't do so great, but it's okay. I'm gonna come back in the spring. My GPA dipped a little. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm coming back. I think that's like just working on what you need to work on, and what school offers you the best.
That's a beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyone?
I chose biomedical engineering when I applied, and I stayed with it.
You stay with it? Okay. Anyone else?
I chose interior design when I first started, and like architect, it was a combo major. I'm undecided technically, like at MCC, just because they don't offer it, but also I'm just genuinely undecided. Like I like it, but I'm just not 100% sure if it's for me yet.
Got it. Anyone else?
I went in with a psychology major,
Yeah.
and I realized like halfway through it wasn't for me because it was the professors and like sometimes the classes that they had available. Like I remember when I first registered for my fall classes, we necessarily didn't get to pick it. It was like whatever was open. So it was like the seniors and the upperclassmen they already picked their classes and they left whatever was left to us. So I had a lot of 8 o'clock classes in the morning, and that really threw me off. I don't like waking up early, so I think like it was like the first 3 weeks I was like really good. I was up motivated by 7:30, walking to class, on class on time, and then I think a little after I started to struggle with time management, and so I would be going to bed at like 6 in the morning thinking I'm gonna wake up for 8, and I don't wake up until like 12 in the afternoon. So that would not only impact that class, but I also had like other classes. I had at 8 a.m. and it ends at like 9, and then I had a 9:15 to 10.
This was all under psychology?
No, 2 different classes,
Okay.
but in the same thing. So it would I would miss multiple classes because of that. So
Got it.
I decided to do undecided for this spring, I think, and then next year I'm gonna come in with a new major. That's my hope.
Okay.
I chose business as my. I'm sorry. I chose business as my major, like going into Clark, and I'm still a business major. With Clark, you have to choose. What is it called? A concentration.
Okay.
So my concentration is management,
Okay.
and I actually wanted to do international business, and they still have that program, but it's not as popular. So I'm still figuring out how to get into international business, because as long as you have like your major by your junior year, then you're okay. So I'm still taking my prereqs right now, and so I want to do international business because I know that I want to work internationally, like, at some point. But as of right now, it's just business with a concentration in management.
Okay. Anyone else want to share? If what you applied for is the same thing that you're doing now, or if you changed along the way?
I applied as a biomedical engineering major, and that's what I'm studying now, but I'm thinking about switching into chemical engineering. I feel like the major thing for me is like figuring out what exactly I want my career to be. Because I feel like once you have a better idea of that, it's easier to kind of decide what you want in your major.
I don't know if this counts, but I didn't change my major. I went in with business management, and I'm still doing business management, and I really like it. But like my first semester that just passed by, I had classes starting at 9:30 a.m. until like 12:15, which was good. But towards like Christmas time, like I started getting like missing my classes in the morning time, just like skipping, becoming careless because I'm just not a morning person, but I thought like I could do it. So I'm just saying, like, I think one thing I really like about MCC is that you can change your schedule at any time. And now this spring semester that I'm going to go into, I'm starting my classes as early as 12:30, and the rest of my 3 classes are online, which I really like because it works with my schedule. That's what I really wanted to do. Like, as much as I wanted to go to Clark and stuff, I really like how MCC is really like flexible, and it kind of feels like work. Like, you just change your schedule at any time, you go in, you mind your business, like that's really it.
What you have to do. Gotcha. Anyone else want to share what they applied for and whether it's still what they're doing?
I'm still going in for culinary, but depending on how I feel like going forward, I might end up changing to more like a food science to do nutrition, become like a nutritionist or a dietitian. So right now I'm gonna stay with culinary, just get all my, because they're gonna follow the same vein, and they're all gonna be, I'm gonna need to do all my food science, safety, and stuff like that. So I'll continue with what I'm doing right now, and then switch if I feel necessary.
JJ, was construction always what you wanted, or was it another trade or something different? Was it electrical, or was it always construction?
It was a little everything, to be honest. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do.
But you knew it was a trade.
Yeah,
I remember
definitely
that.
gonna be a trade. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And plus, with being a laborer, like, it's like multiple trades tied in just to this one. Like, sometimes I have to do, plumbing work. Sometimes I have to do deconstruction. It's a lot. The only thing I really wouldn't do is electrical, because you actually do have to take time, go to classes, and learn that. But everything else at all times, I do the same
All ties
thing.
it together.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, guys. How prepared did you feel transitioning to college after high school? Ready? Go.
For me, I felt not prepared. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
I feel like you're stepping into the real world, they would say, but I feel like high school is a very controlled environment. Like, you have the teachers, and you always, there's security guards and everything. But at college, it's like you're on your own, basically. There's not gonna be someone telling you not to do something. You're gonna be your own, person, and you're gonna have to make those decisions for yourself. I think a lot of the things I've seen in college or heard about, I wasn't ready, I think it's because I was not prepared, and it kind of impacted me, honestly. I was just what? Or the shockness and everything. But it's everyone has their own freedom in college. No one is telling you to do stuff that you don't want to do. No one's telling you to wake up, And so it's basically you're your own person. And I think that's what I wish someone told me more about, because I felt like I could have prepared myself better to do those things instead of having to learn all these lessons on my own,
Life lessons,
No, yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
I think I felt actually pretty prepared, not to go so far, but kind of for college in general, just because of the people I'm surrounded by, to be honest. The people I'm around, my family is like, they pretty much told me all that stuff, like it's not like high school. And also like when I was a junior, the seniors would always tell me like college is not like high school, but even though I was a little bit prepared, I feel like it's still a shock. It's not like something that you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm used to this. Like,
No.
it's really weird, especially if you live on campus. Like, it's really, really, really weird and interesting adjustment. But I think that if you have to ask questions while you're in high school. Like, ask for people's experiences. I asked for people who stayed in state. I asked for people who went to MCC. I asked for people who went to school miles and miles away. Like, I even asked like a family member who went to school she did something out of the country. And so like I would advise like students who are going to college to ask people their experience, because it does help you prepare about yours. You'll be like, oh yeah, like they told me about this and stuff like that. But even if you are prepared, it's still gonna be a shock. It's gonna be uncomfortable.
Because you've never done it before.
Because you've never done it before, and it is uncomfortable.
That makes sense. It's an adjustment, like you said. Okay.
I feel like high school maybe over prepared me, which could be good or bad. But I feel like they made the classes seem like they were gonna be a lot more like difficult, like when it comes to like homework and stuff. Homework is very, very long. It's very long, get a lot of assignments, but it's not hard. Like, and they make it seem, I guess it's good, but it just made me not want to go to college because I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's just, you have to be very good with time management. I feel like maybe high school didn't help me with time management as much as they should, but they helped me with when it comes to like how difficult the work would be. And then another thing that I think didn't, what helped me prepare for like my transition was also just like with textbooks and stuff like that. Like I think if you get like your stuff earlier, it kind of helps you transition from high school to college a lot better because it gets you more motivated to do so. Like, and then just planning everything out helped me, because I learned that in high school, like you have to be prepared. You have to like have a planner or something to plan your day out, because without it, like you'd be very lost throughout your day.
Okay.
I wouldn't say there's support at MCC because it's really like everyone just does their own thing, but you have to ask questions. Like, I feel like everybody at MCC is really nice too, because it's a community college. There's people that's 40 years old, there's people that are 18 years old. But I remember I was in the bookstore one day, like waiting in the line, and I didn't know like where the line was. And this lady, she looked like she was like 30 years old, and she was just like, "Do you know where the line is?" And I was like, "No, I wasn't expecting her to talk to me." But I'm like, you know, you have to ask questions. Like, you have to be bold. So I feel like that was nice. I've met a few people that are like older than me, and you know, we just like kind of talk to each other, ask each other questions in class, and then the teachers will answer your questions, and also the advisors are kind of helpful too. You just have to like, it's kind of hard because you have to do it on your own, but yeah.
You have to go and seek that support. Got you.
One thing I learned from going to MCC is that every teacher is potentially, or professor is potentially an advisor. I didn't know that. They don't tell you that. So like I was talking to my professor, and he was telling me like that they offer support like with the professors. Like you can sit down with them, whether it's with the class or just discussing what you want to do after college. It's like stuff like that. I don't necessarily use it because I don't feel like I need to right now, but I know where the resources would be if I needed to. Yeah.
I would say we have a lot of resources back at my school, but I'd say the top three are the academic advisors, success advisors, and career advisors.
Okay.
So the academic advisors, you can go to them for any help with academically, like for what classes you need to take for each semester, or if you're not doing good, you can go to them, ask like how to better your GPA. And success advisor, those help you like throughout your college life, your college career. They help you navigate, help you know like what path you're taking, if it's right or wrong. And career advisor, they help you throughout your all 4 years. They help you navigate to get the career you want. So like they can help you with internships, which classes you take to help those internships notice you, pick you, so like you can get them for like over the summer.
Got it.
I think for our school, Eastern, we prioritize like everything. So for emotional health, we have on-campus therapy. So there's like a building that's a little bit off campus, and there's like literally trained therapists that you can just make an appointment to and go to if you need something. We have a 24-hour hotline at our school. We have like, I can't even explain, like we have so many things in place. Like if you have a friend and you don't want them to know that it's you who told, we have an anonymous like slip that you just like fill out online on our website. And you tell them I'm concerned about this. We do a lot of trainings, so every month, mandatory in order to be on campus or to have classes on campus, we do training. So I finished mine. My last one was on health, equity, and wellness. So basically, including in diversity. So you know, like I think Eastern's really big on including everyone, no matter race, gender, or sex. So I think that's really good. We had one in the beginning. It's called Title IX.
Yes.
We did a 3-day training on that.
As students?
Yeah, as students. It was a 3-day training we did for like sexual assault cases. If it was to happen, you know, and what do you do as a bystander? Because like a lot of that stuff has happened in the past, and I think they're just trying to like for other people to know the signs and how to prevent it. So I think that's really helpful. For the therapy, like I was saying, you just like sign up online, you can call and they'll book you real quick. So it's like, even if you're having a bad day and you just need someone to talk to, you can talk to them over the phone or walk down and do that. But academic-wise, we do have a lot of tutors in every subject we have at Eastern. That's amazing. We have a writing room where like there's literally people who are training to help you write essays, you know, and all that stuff. There's math tutors, so I think utilizing that is a lot, but it's really good because it like makes your product a lot better.
Makes it easier. I love that.
Anyone else want to share?
At UConn, we have something called the Q Center, and it's basically where they have a bunch of tutors around available to help them tutor for math and science classes. And we also have something called VI, which is meant to help like minorities in STEM, and that's been the biggest support for me, I feel like, because upperclassmen there have been able to help me academically in terms of figuring out which professors are the best for which classes, and figuring out like what schedule is the most beneficial, like in terms of giving you the best time to study and also have time for like a social life. So I feel like what's worked for me is just joining clubs like NSB, National Society of Black Engineers, and ASA. I feel like those organizations are really helpful.
That's awesome. We have 5 more minutes. Okay, so what did you want to say? And then I'm going to turn to Q&A from the audience.
Yeah, I would say one thing is also we have an international like tutoring thing at our school too. So if you like have friends or people you know who are coming out of the country, they'll tutor you to learn like the things you need to learn in that language or in English. I think that's really helpful too.
Okay.
What would you do differently during your senior year in high school if you had to do it all over again?
I would lock in more. I feel like I was very distracted, so I would just be more focused on what I need to do in and out.
For me, I'd say get more involved because in high school, like I was involved, but like not as involved as I wanted to because I was a little shy, so I was in a lot of the stuff that I wanted to be. So I'd say I'd be more involved in the stuff that I'm too scared to get into.
Considering how like unmotivated you could be as a senior in high school, it can be really hard too. But I'd say like just try to use like the College and Career Center like really is a good space to go if you need help.
Say that again, a little louder.
The College and Career Center really is a good place to go if you need help. Like during the time that scholarships were like really high, like there was a whole list of scholarships. Every day I walk in, there's a step-by-step like what to do, how to apply, you know, where to go to find scholarships on the board. It was very helpful. It was also very comfy. Like I would always go in there and I'd say like this room doesn't feel like MHS, like it just feels like a separate room. So if you can find like a good comfy space, which for me was that room, and it was obviously this meeting, like if you can find that space that will genuinely help you with college, that feels detached from MHS, it feels like detached from your homework and like the stress that you have as being an unmotivated senior, then I would say like that would be very, very helpful. That was very helpful for me.
would lock in more. So I feel like, especially after I submitted my college applications, I was kind of just like, all right, I'm out. But I kind of wish I still just participated more, enjoyed myself, still continue doing clubs. Because I feel like, especially your senior year, like it's going to be your last year with all of your high school friends, and really just making the most of that. I feel like I wish I did more.
I kind of wish, kind of like she said before, once you apply to your colleges and once you get accepted, it's pretty easy to just like, I'm projected to graduate, I really don't want to be here, so you wouldn't put in the effort to maintain your grades, or you would just be having fun. But kind of, I would put myself in more classes that helped me to work towards my college goal. So I got to put myself in more culinary classes, or I would have worked on the food safety course, and even going more to the college readiness center,
Yeah.
and getting help from there. So just little things.
I have a question for you though, being culinary. Did you take a lot of culinary classes or like bake shop type classes when you were here, or was that something that you just wanted to do when you went? You decided this is what I want to study.
So I had taken culinary, the introduction to culinary.
While you were here?
Culinary arts. I took
Okay.
that in sophomore year.
Okay.
So that was right after COVID, like when like middle of COVID, we're doing hybrid. And then my junior year, I did, what was the name of it? Silk City Cafe.
Okay.
But my schedule didn't allow me to do more. And then afterwards, I had done, what was the name of it? The school store.
Okay.
But that was more towards,
That was more business oriented.
yeah, that was more
like
business
customer
oriented.
service, right.
But I wanted to try it to see if that was something I was interested in.
Okay.
But I didn't take the class, but I was in there enough for me to like basically be in there, because I would sometimes go to Miss Baker's bake shop class,
Yeah.
and I chill in there. So I didn't get to take some classes due to like the class being full or certain things like that. But yeah, I kind of wish I did take more classes, or like put my foot down and like dropped a class that I didn't really need.
To take something that you're actually interested in.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So guys, we made it to the finish line. Congratulations and thank you for coming.